Welcome back, and obviously now we have a very interesting conversation lined up, and that is we are going to explore how artificial intelligence is going to work, because artificial intelligence is the new normal, and that too how they are going to satisfy the customer experiences, because the modern day economy is based on how customers are satisfied, and this is how capitalism works. So without any further ado, we would like to introduce our guest and have this conversation with him. So we are very glad that we have been joined by Farhan Khan, who happens to be the Director Operations. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for
At
coming
one
to
of
our
the
show.
biggest delivery platforms, so we certainly need to kind of congratulate him first of all, because the kind of impact you've had over community service, I would rather call it community service as well. I think it's great. And the kind of customer experience that you've generated is something which is second to none over here in our country.
Okay.
Which is why the first thing I would want you to kind of share is that, how do you think that you're going to draw a parallel? Because imagine when we talk about FMCG, when we talk about telecom, when we talk about e-commerce, and then you're coming down and narrowing it to optimizing it, that too on a delivery platform. So how would you differentiate for our audiences to understand it better, who are in 47 different countries?
Thank you very much for having me over.
Jazakallah.
So I'll start with my recent e-commerce experience. So e-commerce taught the importance of fast and quick decision making, because your consumer is so diverse. They come from different background. You have housewife on your platform, you have student, you have millennials, and you have Gen Z on the platform. So their needs are different. So being in this industry, one has to take the decisions very fast.
True.
So decision making has to be very quick. The second thing you mentioned about FMCG industry where I worked, so the importance of distribution is huge in FMCG industry.
Did you start your career from FMCG or was it
from operator?
Yeah.
From there I moved to FMCG, Nestle, and then I moved
Tough job, right?
Yeah. So the importance of distribution is very important in our business these days. So my responsibility in operation is to ensure that the riders are available all across the country wherever we operate in multiple cities and at different times, because consumer have different eating patterns.
True.
Most famous are breakfast, lunch and dinner, but then they want to have snacks during meal times, then midnight munching. So we need to ensure, I need to ensure that we have ample number of supply, ample number of riders available at all times. And when we talk about telecom and operator experience, so I will say that seamless connectivity is key. This is what we try to implement in our day-to-day operations. So we ensure that our consumers have seamless operations, be it on a platform, be it the delivery. So I ensure that our riders are available and we provide that seamless connectivity to our consumers.
So obviously, for whatever, alhamdulillah, you've done by far, certainly helps you on this delivery platform to kind of do it in a better way. May it be logistics, may it be connectivity, may it be, making sure that everybody's available to, and then making sure that, okay, whatever time people want you to deliver, you're delivering on their doorstep. Now, what happens is that a lot of, big firms like these, the one you work in, alhamdulillah, are actually making sure that they're going to use technological interventions. When we talk about technological intervention, artificial intelligence happens to be on top of that. How do you think that the behaviors are kind of being customized or modified because of the use of this particular application, number one, so that, logon ke behaviors change ho rahe hain because of this application? Or rather, would you want to put it in a way that it's the behavior of the people which is changing the application that they're ordering food on?
Right. So staying at the forefront of technological advancement is key to our business. So we need to ensure that we understand the market dynamics, we study the consumer patterns, because customer come on our platform. So from discovery to delivery, this journey is, he wants convenience, he wants variety, he wants choice on a platform, he wants maximum categories to be there on the platform. Then he wants ease of payments and user friendly, whether the app is user friendly or not, and then he wants fastest delivery.
True.
So analyzing market trends, analyzing consumer preferences, and using technology and AI is very key to our business. So apart from this, there have been challenges, challenging environment where we tweak our strategy. So I would like to highlight an example of COVID, when everybody wanted food or groceries at their doorstep. So we changed the business model. We identified business streams which relate to our core business, which is food delivery, and we introduced grocery segment, for example. Right now, we know that customers want parcels to be delivered from one place to another, so we are focusing on C2C and B2C segment. Then apart from this, we collaborated with different partners, be it a chain of retailers, be it multinationals. So because we strongly believe that we bring synergies together, we have huge customer base and these brands bring value. So we create those win-win moments for all the stakeholders who are part of this journey.
Wow. So who's changing? Is it the people's behavior which is changing because of the use of that application, or is it the application which is keeping up to date?
So adaptability is key.
Yes.
So we need to, customer is king, so we need to adapt and we need to move fast and we need to bring changes in our platform.
Wonderful.
So which provide ease and convenience to our consumer. Consumer is at the heart of everything.
And obviously, when we talk about the challenges, you did spoke about the challenges. So when I think of the challenges, one of the challenges that comes into my mind is the economic fluctuation, right? And that does affect the purchasing power of a lot of your customers, right? And in the time when there's a lot of global inflation, and that is obviously Pakistan also is feeling the effects of that. So how do you think then you need to survive in the market in the first place? Because obviously, and without compromising the customer experience in the first place.
But
right?
not having a competitor, I believe, is a wonderful thing, right?
I
If you
mean,
think that there's no competitor.
I mean, if the purchasing power is shrinking,
True.
so obviously that does affect the model, right? So how do you, I mean, incorporate this challenge into your strategy?
No, it does, and that is the reason that we bring changes in our business models. We collaborate with different partners. We bring different promotions for our consumers. We bring different promotions for our riders, who are the backbone of our business. So if we talk about riders, so they are the backbone of our company. So we ensure that we offer them competitive salaries. We ensure that we give them different promotions where we cover for the safety. We have rider insurance plan in place. We run different promotions from time to time. We have the online medical facility available. We provide them subsidized medicines as well.
Wonderful.
Then we run different promotion. Just to quote an example, we recently offered Umrah offer to our riders. At the same time, we give them subsidized ration bag promo as well. So these are some things that we do for our riders, and we make sure that their earnings are higher than what they can make while working somewhere else. And the most important thing is that the beauty of our platform is that we offer flexibility. So if there's a student, if he wants to work as a part-time for only 4 hours, he can work on a platform. If somebody wants to work as a full-timer, so they can operate as a full-timer. So the flexibility is key. You come on a platform, you pick the shifts, whatever day suits you, and then you
But obviously, when we talk about the big data, right, so that is the gold mine right now, and when we talk about the artificial intelligence, but there's a lot of controversy surrounding the artificial intelligence and the big data, and how there's lots of breaches that are coming in, right? How do you keep your data secure in the first place, and please also shed light on the role of data, evolving data, and how it merges with the customer experiences?
As you rightly said, that data is the new oil. So the most important...
A lot of credit cards are on your platform, a lot of them, yeah.
So most important thing is how effective are you using that data, because there's a lot of data around your business. So you need to decipher the data and you need to connect the right data points in order to make the effective strategies, because data gives you indications. So what we, just to quote examples, while designing route plans, we use data analytics, we used AI. While ensuring customer experience, we use data analytics, we use data insights, and giving transparency to customer, whether his order will be timely delivered. So we use live tracking as well. So data is at the heart of everything.
And you know, in my humble submission, I will surely share my feedback as well, but towards the end. But there's one more thing which I wanted to talk about, and that is that no matter what, alhamdulillah, Foodpanda riders are always in the news. You know, that's one thing. But very recently, you know, Foodpanda actually came up with this wonderful initiative where women riders are being hired as well. I think one of them happens to be Miss Farhan Zara, if I'm not wrong. So how did you thought of it that, okay, yeah, let's make it more inclusive of people, even if it's an earning model for them?
Right. So diversity and inclusivity is what we talk about, I mean, every day. And we encourage people from different or different cultures to be part of our rider base. So we encourage female riders, we encourage people from different backgrounds to join our platform. We give them ease, we provide them ease and flexible shifts. So we encourage female riders, and we at the same time people from different background to join our platform. And
And it's wonderful to see that as well. In addition to that, what I wanted to ask you was, in my humble submission, what I wanted to say was, so my wife uses the same number I use, okay? You know, so what she's done is that she has actually secured my credentials on her phone number.
Right.
So now every time I open my Foodpanda app, you know, it does not recognize me because my number is being used by my wife. So why can't we have multiple users on the same number? That's one thing.
no, the first thing is, I mean, your wife is using your mobile, so she has all the information. So on different, on every mobile, so ideally we want
One customer on one mobile.
mobile number. So that is.
But you know, because obviously they're elderly people, you know, so imagine now my mother comes up to me and be like, "Yeah, beta, zara kuch
you
order
can
do."
make accounts. I mean, using different emails. So we offer that
Okay, so
flexibility.
other than the phone number, we can use an email as well.
Yes.
And then, you know, once I was in Lahore, you know, I'm very sorry, Haja, but I
I'm
want to
used
talk
to it,
about once I was in Lahore, and I think it was 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and during the night, and what happened was, so I ordered, I was hungry, I was at somebody's place, and I couldn't ask them, you know, to cook food for me because I've just reached or arrived. And then later on what happened, I was like, okay, let me order something on Foodpanda, and that's what I did. So imagine that the order never came, but I was being charged of it, you know. That's something that I never complained about. So I was like, okay, you know, one day if I'm going to get this opportunity, I'll ask. Because it was too much of a hassle that, okay, now you have to call a representative, you know, talk to them, and it's already 3 a.m. I was like, yeah, can't be doing that right now. So what do we do?
No, so there are different challenges that comes with the model. So at 3 a.m., so we operate with vendors who have given us commitments that their operational hours are till, say, 24 hours, or for they operate for 14, 18 hours. But then there are different challenges. For example, bike getting punctured. So if the order was charged, I'm sure that we have after sales service, the customer support center. You go on chat and they provide you resolution instantly. So so I'm sure that order must have been refunded. So that's I can commit.
And one last thing, and I believe that it is really important, even though that, you know, most of the time it's really private. If people want to do it, they can do it. If they do not feel like it, they can certainly kind of call back to their customer support. Now what happens is that, for example, if there was this one rider who's actually delivered at your place, 2 days later he calls you up and be like, sir, mujhe to madad ki zarurat hai, or, you know, I'm in dire need of help. What happens is that your contact is already out there with the rider. So and there's multiple models. For example, if we are to talk about Kareem, we do see that, you know, how you can keep your number anonymous, right? You know, you're like, okay, nobody's going to get to know my number, and then, you know, I'm going to get a call from their server or whatever. So do you think that there needs to be a system in place where the rider cannot directly, or even the customer cannot directly call the rider?
Yeah, so there are different models, and we are working on this issue. But yes, there are different compliance framework that we operate with, and we discourage riders, and we take actions if we find any riders doing something similar to this.
Okay, and now talking about Panda Fly, because you know, this is one of that service which took place in F9 Park away in Islamabad. I don't know how the delivery went, but can you please elaborate on that a little bit? What is Panda Fly?
No, that was one experiment that we did with the help of government. So it was just an experiment that we carried out.
How did it go?
So
what did you guys deliver?
For example, in developed markets, so they are experimenting drone delivery. So, but right now infrastructure, whether it's ready in for Pakistan or not, so that was one experiment that we carried out.
Drone hi le gaya.
Drone hi koi leke chala gaya.
Well, all right, you know, so with evolving technology, we do see these wonders taking place. Imagine one day you're sitting on your rooftop, it's a sunny day in winters, you're having your oranges, you know, with chaat masala a little bit, and your mother also is like, okay, why shouldn't we have coffee? And there you see a drone, you know, delivering a coffee to you. It does look like a wonder, and it does look like a scene from a
that's
sci-fi
also
film.
a part of the gig economy. So let's talk about the gig economy, right? So how do you see its future evolving, and especially when it comes to the Pakistani market? Because obviously there's a lot of economic fluctuation right now, but a lot of people are benefiting from the gig economy in the first place.
Yes, so I would say that convenience is something that our audience, I mean, is looking for, because as I said earlier, so our platform offers variety of choices to all sort of people. So gig economy offers that flexibility, be it a consumer, for example, as he mentioned that he ordered at 3 a.m. So some people want to order breakfast, lunchtime, dinner time. So it offers the flexibility and choice to consumer. At the same time, gig economy offers flexibility for our riders as well, that they can work at whatever time they believe.
And that's exactly what everybody wants, you know. So you imagine that, you know, me and
flexibility.
Hajra,
Flexibility is key here.
you know, early in the morning, every single day we're like, okay, you know, you guys can come in and record at night, and then we'll play it in the morning. I believe that's something which will be favorable for all of us. But sir, very quickly towards the end, there's one last question which I wanted to ask, and that is that, so Alhamdulillah, you've done wonderfully well in this market, and obviously when a company and an organization of such sort and such stature does so well, they certainly plan to do some things other than this as well. So, you know, your take on corporate social responsibility, because every time, I'm very sorry but I have to mention it, that if you order from Foodpanda store, you know, and if it's a cigarette packet, you know, it's going to come in a separate bag, you know, things will come in a separate bag, maybe chips, crisps, whatever. So there's a lot of bags that we are using over here, and I do see it that, you know, that it's a lot of waste of baggage and whatnot. So do you think that, you know, as part of your corporate social responsibility, you're making sure that you drop it down, you know, the level of wastage that we are actually increasing? Even because everything comes with a zip tie, you know, it's a bag, and I do know that it might be a standard operating procedure, number one. Number two, do you look or do you think that your company is actually trying to extend operations to other countries beyond Pakistan, or some of the other initiatives which Foodpanda is working on?
Right, so it's a global food delivery company. So we are present in more than 70 countries.
Wonderful.
So we have a market leadership position in multiple markets. So here we are operating with the brand of Foodpanda. So we have been around for number of years. So it's a I mean market leader in many markets.
It's like one of those companies which started with one bike rider, right?
Yeah. So parent company started the operations from Berlin. So they have a strong foothold in Europe. We have strong foothold in APAC as well. And on CSR, we keep on working with different organizations, our different functions. They emphasize the importance of CSR activities, so we carry that out on a regular basis.
Wow, that's wonderful. And any other initiatives which the company might be taking over here in Pakistan? So there's Foodpanda store, we've talked about, you know, the
so now you're talking about strategy. So yes, we are carrying out few initiatives which
kapde bhi mil sakte ho online, you know, something, gifts, you know, whatnot,
so
delivery, C2C,
we have shops as a vertical, we have grocery as a vertical, so we have different verticals. So because consumer, they want different categories and different services under one umbrella. So we are focusing on all the important categories that supplement our core business, which is food delivery.
And how was it for your company to, you know, from delivering from one business to another customer, now having their own business and delivering to a customer? Are we looking at bigger profit margins now?
No. Basically, our objective is to provide convenience and provide access to our consumer, and that's what our focus is.
Exactly, that's wonderful, and it's always wonderful to see a Pakistani doing wonderfully well, because, you know, you happen to be the director of operations, and that too from one of the largest delivery platforms over here and all over the globe as well. So congratulations to you.
Thank you very
for
much.
making sure that you're going to provide us with a customer service which is number one, 5-star, you know, and whenever it comes down to reviews, I think they get the best reviews as well. And hats off to all the riders who've been working day in, day out, making sure that they're going to keep us well fed. I think that's something. And to all the restaurants that have participated and contributed, whenever Popo aa gayi, Khala aa gayi, kya mangwana, chappal kebab mangwa lo, Foodpanda. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, I think we would like to bid you a favor. Until next time, look out yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
Have a great